Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a news cycle on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyi Agmofwewe. President Bola Tinubu is currently meeting with members of the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria at the Council Chamber, a presidential villa in Abuja. The meeting is coming in about 48 hours after the president of the council, Sheikh Abdul Rashid Abdullah, expressed regret for supporting the Tinubu-Shettima same-faith ticket last year. According to him, the same-faith ticket adopted by President Tinubu to emerge victorious in the last general election has not brought any positive changes to the lives of Nigerians and even the Muslims. The agenda of the meeting is not made public. However, it is believed that the economic and security situations might feature as major topics. The Federal Executive Council, presided over by President Bola Tinubu, has approved the sum of 9.8 billion naira as renewal fees for the group life assurance of federal government workers. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed these after Wednesday's FEC meeting. The approval was sequel to a memo presented by Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemi Eso. The president approved about 9.6 billion naira for 12 local insurance firms to cover the federal workers in case of unforeseen eventualities in the course of their duties. Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council has ordered a thorough investigation into an explosion that rocked Ibadan, Oyo State capital on Tuesday. The council gave the directive at its first meeting in the year 2024, chaired by President Bola Tinubu. Briefing State House correspondents shortly after the meeting, Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru said council also set up a committee to look into the issues of environmental degradation and deforestation. Kikelamo Okere has more.
The Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, noted that the activities of illegal miners pose a huge challenge to Nigeria. Hence, the committee is to come up with a roadmap for tackling the menace. Constituting the committee, according to Badaru, are the service chiefs and the Minister of Defense, among others.
You are all aware that Mr. President called on us and all the service chiefs to discuss this issue. So concerted effort is being done by security agencies to really look into the situation and stop it immediately.
Similarly, FEC noted with concern the spate of kidnapping in the Federal Capital Territory and mandated the service chief to beef up security in the nation's capital. The Defense Minister explained that during a meeting with the service chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ordered them to swing into action and bring the menace to an end, while attributing the rise in insecurity challenges within the FCT to the military operations in the northwest and parts of the north central, which have forced the bandits to flee from their hideouts.
As you are aware, people are panicking that are saying FCT. Well, these kidnappings happen around the suburb area of FCT in Buhari local government, majorly around towns or locations that are bordering Kaduna and Niger. And this is as a result of the current operation going on in the northwest and some part of north central. The bandits are fleeing and they are getting shelters around this. And the security agencies are working too very hard to push them out.
Ikelomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Vice President Kashif Shettima has expressed optimism that the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement would help galvanize gross domestic product (GDP) growth on the continent. Spokesperson for the Vice President, Stanley Okocha, said in a statement on Thursday that the Vice President spoke during a breakfast with African heads of state to launch the action plan for AFTA. The breakfast was held on the sidelines of the ongoing World Economic Forum held in Davos, Switzerland. Shettima has said that based on the World Bank projections, the AFTA would increase Africa's GDP by $450 billion in 2025 and exports by more than 81%. He also observed that negotiations have turned out to be too slow with clashes between national and continental priorities. This, according to him, has led to few consummated deals among countries since January 2021 to date. He urged Africa's private sector players to be proactive in stepping up to the plate to occupy their pride of place in trade on the continent. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris says President Bola Tinubu has approved the payment of renewal fees for the group life assurance for federal government workers. Addressing newsmen after the first Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, he said the president approved about 9.6 billion naira for 12 local insurance firms to cover the federal workers in case of unforeseen eventualities in the course of their duties. Fozia Lukman has details.
Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council (FEC) expressed concerns over rising cost of goods and services in the country.
The federal government today approved the group life assurance for all federal government staff as submitted by the head of service. About 12 companies were involved. Nigerian insurance companies were involved, and about 9.8 billion naira was approved by Council to settle the group life assurance claims.
Also briefing journalists after the meeting, Attorney General and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi disclosed that Council mandated him to obtain the National Assembly's ratification of the tax liberalization agreement signed between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates (UAE) during President Tinubu's visit to the country.
Rising cost of goods and services in the country, as well as the rising cost of doing business in Nigeria, and also noted the excitement and optimism of the real sector that the renewed hope agenda will bring a prosperous 2024. We deliberated on how we can actually improve the manufacturing, the ease of doing, improve the business environment for manufacturers and industrialists.
Council noted that the agreement between both countries, that is between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates, include personal income tax, company income tax, petroleum profit tax, information technology, levy, tertiary education tax, and capital gain tax. Because of the effect of this cooperation or the benefits that will accrue to Nigeria, the Council agreed and directed that the agreement that had been signed already should be taken further by mandating, authorizing the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to prepare a bill along this line to take to the National Assembly for ratification. The effect of this is that it has ceased to be an ordinary agreement, but an agreement between two countries. Other countries will follow, but the one that we immediately leverage on is the one between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates. Apart from this one, Council also decided that going forward, we should also have a very solid national policy on taxation that will drive or attract foreign investment.
Meanwhile, before the commencement of the first Federal Executive Council FEC meeting in the year, President Bola Tinubu had sworn in Ambassador Desmond Akawo as Commissioner of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC. Fozia Lukman, Global TV News.
Thank you, Fozia. Let's turn to the stories for you. The Cross River State Ministry of Health has raised the alarm over an outbreak of Lassa fever, which has already claimed one life in the Eja community of Osong Ward 1, Obuba local government area of the state. In a statement signed by Commissioner of Health, Dr. Egbe Ayuk, and made available to newsmen today, citizens were notified of the outbreak following an investigation carried out on the deceased, which confirmed he died of Lassa fever. The State Rapid Response Team will be going to Obura on Thursday, it says, to join the LGA team to ensure contact tracing, line listing, and decontamination of affected premises. The commissioner stated that awareness creation and risk communication, as well as mobilization of Lassa fever commodities, consumables, and personal protective equipment (PPE) to General Hospital Obura and other locations have been activated. The Federal High Court in Abuja has declared null and void the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code authorizing the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) to impose fines on broadcast stations for alleged breaches of the code, as it ruled that administrative and regulatory bodies could not exercise judicial powers. Delivering judgment in a suit instituted by Media Rights Agenda (MRA) against the Commission following the Commission's imposition of fines of 5 million naira each on the television station and 3 pay TV platforms in 2022 for allegedly undermining Nigeria's national security on account of broadcasting documentaries on banditry in the country. Justice Rita Ofeli Ajimogobia held that the NBC, not being a court of law, acted above its powers by imposing such fines. The judge commended MRA for its legal challenge of NBC's action and issued an order of perpetual injunction restraining the Commission or anyone acting on his behalf from further imposing any fine or any media platform or broadcast station in Nigeria for any alleged offense committed under the Nigeria Broadcasting Code. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says his administration will make it unbearable for bandits to operate in the Federal Capital Territory. Wike made this known at a town hall meeting with residents of the Buhari Area Council over the high level of insecurity in the territory. Kikelamo Okere tells us more.
Cases of kidnapping have increased in the country, with the recent situation being the abduction of 6 sisters from the residence in Zuma 1 in Buhari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory on the 5th of January 2024. The FCT minister says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed him and all service chiefs to explore all necessary means to bring an end to the kidnapping and killing of residents by bandits in Buhari and other areas in the Federal Capital Territory, adding that the President has approved the provision of all necessary tools and logistics required by security operatives to combat insecurity in the FCT, and as such, there is no room for excuses by security operatives.
Mr. President, in the Lead Hope agenda, we want to face squarely. It is no longer going to be business as usual. Everything has to be done to protect life and property. Without protection of life and property, then we have no business to be in government. Without information, there's nothing we can do. And that is where you have to play a key role. Traditional institution, you have a role to play. Community leaders, you have a role to play. Because by information, you help the security agencies to proactively take control.
He further reassured residents of the area of drastic changes as regards the security situation, while appealing to all stakeholders to support security agencies with information to win the war. He further appealed to residents of the FCT to desist from the use of radio or social media to speak on the operations of the bandits or donation for victims, as he says it only fuels the bandits and promotes their action to carry out more operations.
And so in the next few days, you will see the action of the security agencies to make sure that this kidnapping is brought to a halt. So I condole with you. I sympathize with you for the death of some of our people, for the kidnapping of some of our people.
The demand of 600 million naira as ransom from the kidnappers has generated public outcry, with the police authority vowing to secure the release of the victims. Kikelomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Well, thank you, Kikelomo. The Nigerian Customs Service says the agency has not raised duties paid on imports, adding that it only aligned with the new foreign exchange rate prescribed by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Controller General of the service, Adewale Adeniyi, stated this in Abuja. The customs boss explained that the decision was part of the repercussions of the CBN's efforts at enforcing a single FX window. The increase, the third in 2023, reportedly drove the cost of clearing a 40-foot container from 7.3 million naira to 8.9 million naira. However, Adeniyi argued that customs could not independently or unilaterally use new exchange rates without recourse to the merged FX window. He said the new administration has not made any pretension towards the fact that it was going to take a number of very bold decisions and reforms aimed at repositioning the Nigerian economy, and reforms that will bring sustainable change over a long period of time. To other matters now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has begun its constitutional responsibility of conducting the verification of the status of political parties in the country. Director, Election and Party Monitoring, Hawa Habibu, made this known when she led INEC's Election and Party Monitoring team on a visit to the National Chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje. Habibu said the visit was part of the Commission's annual verification of political parties. The team will go around, it says, to verify the offices with forms to give to the structure of the party as to whether the Electoral Act's provisions of a minimum of 24 members of different states of the Federation and the FCT have been compiled. Said that the team would also verify the party's audited accounts. You're watching News Cycle live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms using a Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Cycle returns, Gombe Yola Bauchi to experience 2-day blackouts. That's according to the transmission company of Nigeria, TCN. We'll have details of that and more stories for you right after this short break. Do stay with us. This is Global Television bringing you a live broadcast of the News Cycle with Uye Agmofwebe. We appreciate you staying with us. A former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, is currently in court to seek a variation of his bail conditions. The former CBN governor is standing trial on 6 counts bordering on procurement fraud to the tune of 1.2 billion naira. This was the first time he would be making an appearance in court without stern-looking armed security personnel guiding him to the courtroom. Emefiele was released from Kuje Custodial Center on December 23, 2023, 34 days after the judge had admitted him to bail. He is asking the court to review some terms of his bail conditions. Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Uba Meigari, has stressed the importance of steel as the backbone of modern infrastructure and industrial development in Nigeria. Meigari described the minerals and metals sector as the foundation crucial for economic growth and holistic development in the country. He stated this at the 5th edition of the National Council on Mining and Mineral Resources Development in Ilorin, Kwara State capital. In a statement by the Ministry's Press and Public Relations Unit, the minister was reported urging stakeholders to be committed to using the sector to help Nigeria prosper and shore up its development. He described the conference as a platform for stakeholders to establish strategic partnerships and chart a path for advancing economic transformation for the nation via its minerals and metals sector. And time to take a look at the foreign scene. Police killed 6 suspects in an early morning shootout on Thursday near South Africa's coastal city of Durban, saying they had targeted a gang after a spate of house robberies and murders. The South African Police Service, SAPS, said they operationalized intelligence about the whereabouts of the suspects who were wanted for a spate of house robberies, murders, business robbery, and carjacking. When they arrived at a house in Dana, a crime-ridden township northwest of the port city, they were met with what they call a hail of bullets. 3 suspects, a woman and 2 men, were arrested. According to police, 2 rifles and a shotgun were found in the house, as well as the vehicle that was stolen in December. Last September, police killed 18 people in a Ford cash-in-transit heist shootouts in the country's northeast. Hundreds of flights at Frankfurt Airport in Germany were cancelled on Thursday due to a winter storm that forced the airport to briefly suspend takeoffs and landings. More than 300 of about 1,000 scheduled flights for Thursday at Frankfurt Airport were cancelled, a spokeswoman for the airport operator Fraport said. On Thursday morning, flights taking off and landing at the airport, but air traffic was still recovering from a storm that brought ice, freezing rain, and snow to much of western and southern Germany. It was unclear if additional flights might be cancelled throughout Thursday, as the airport spokeswoman urged passengers to check the status of their flight online prior to traveling to the airport. And now time to talk business. The Nigeria Communications Commission, NCC, has suspended its planned barring of Glo subscribers from calling MTN lines for 21 days. The Commission disclosed this in a statement on Thursday, signed by its Director, Public Affairs, Ryube Moka, as a follow-up to its pre-disconnection notice issued on January 8, 2024. Announcing its extension, the Commission said the parties have now reached an agreement to resolve all outstanding issues between them. For this reason, it says it has put the phased disconnection on hold for 21 days from today, which was yesterday, January 17, 2024. Whilst the Commission expects MTN and Glo to resolve all outstanding issues within the 21 days, the NCC insists that the interconnect debts must be settled by all operating companies as a necessary component towards compliance with regulatory obligations of all licensees. Nigeria is seeking $1.5 billion aid from the World Bank to tackle the severe dollar shortage contributing to the decline of the naira. According to the minister, Africa's largest economy may also issue a Eurobond in late 2024, adding that with the current economic reforms, the country deserves support. Eurobonds denominated in foreign currencies offer Nigeria a mechanism to navigate its financial landscape amidst challenging economic conditions. Nigeria is currently battling with about 87 trillion naira debt, which the International Monetary Fund, IMF, says was manageable, but noted that the interest payment was high for the country. The minister said the new World Bank loan would be used to finance development, disclosing that the facility would be disbursed to Nigeria very soon. And now to power sector issues. Electricity consumers in Gombe and some parts of Yola and Bauchi states will experience power outage today and tomorrow, Friday, as a result of scheduled maintenance of power facilities by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. The TCN announced that its maintenance crew will carry out scheduled preventive maintenance on the bay of its transformer on Thursday and Friday, January 18 and 19, 2024. According to a statement by the TCN General Manager, Public Affairs, Ndidi Mba, the maintenance would last 8 hours, running from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on each day. Mba disclosed that to commence the maintenance exercise, TCN would transfer the load from T1A transformer to its T2A transformer in the same substation, added that subsequently there would be an interruption of bulk power supply to Jos and Yola Discos through the T1A transformer. For some excitement from sports, Ivory Coast midfielder Seko Fofana has warned Nigeria's Super Eagles that his team is prepared to face them when the two sides meet today in the evening at the ongoing 2023 Africa World Cup of Nations. Fofana, who scored the tournament's first goal against Guinea-Bissau last Sunday, said Ivory Coast would have to fight hard to beat the Super Eagles. Ivory Coast top Group A with 3 points after one game, while Nigeria is in third with 1 point. The match is set to start at 3 p.m. Nigerian time. And that's a full cycle on the news, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Oyag Mofwegwe. Thank you very specially on behalf of the team here at Global Television for watching.